Feeling good, feeling great, feeling good. How are you? Welcome into Timeline T. I am your host, D. Sam D, aka Sam Dusemay Jr. Hump Day Wednesday, a lot going on. Lots of NBA. Oh, this is that time of the year. 'Tis the season to be an NBA fan. Casuals, you're kind of welcome, but low-key not really. Just kidding. Even casuals you can pull up. I'll break it down for you nice and slow. Pause. But it's that time of the year. You see the topic bar down there? You know what I'm saying? NBA draft lottery was the fixin'. Certainly look like it to me. I don't know how a franchise keeps going undefeated whenever they get the number one pick. Whenever a franchise decides we're going to tank, all of a sudden, they pull up and magically land the number one pick every single time. 3 times. 3-0 for the San Antonio Spurs. We'll get there. Dame Dollar. They gonna flip that third pick? I tried to talk about it last night on the Elon app, Twitter. Everyone was saying, nah, it's gonna go like this. I'm like, I don't know if Portland's gonna take who should go third, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. So Houston, do you have a problem at point guard? We'll see. Lakers Nuggets, oof. It was spooky hours at halftime, but then Darvin Ham smartened up the rotation, made some actual in-game adjustments. Hello, Mike Budenholzer. Hello, Doc Rivers. There's a reason why those two guys are out, and Darvin Ham is still coaching. Celtics Heat begins tonight. Jimmy Butler's talking his talk, but Tatum's a bucket. Who you got, Tatum or Jimmy Butler? All right, let's not wait too much longer. I see Ab is in the chat. What's good, Ab? Tapping in. Appreciate that as always. Oh, man. What's good, bro? We are out here, and Tony Parker is talking his talk. He has imported plenty of Frenchmen to the NBA, and not just to the NBA, but directly to the San Antonio Spurs. Is this a pipeline from France to the Spurs? Boris Diaw. Now we got Victor Wembanyama, and of course, I know there's a big difference between Boris Diaw and Victor Wembanyama, but magically, every Frenchman worth a damn. And that includes Rudy Gobert, because he's not worth a damn, right? So every Frenchman worth a damn that's got some real potential as a complete basketball player, not a Rudy Gobert one-dimensional basketball player, they always magically end up with the Spurs. And not only do the Spurs walk away with the number 1 overall pick, which will obviously be Victor Wembanyama, although, and the video still exists here on the channel, I still got a video that says, hey man, as much as y'all think that's a slam dunk, I think Scoot could be a slam dunk as well. So the number 2 pick ain't a bad spot. But then Brandon Miller emerged this college season, and now all of a sudden, because he's a bigger guy, more dynamic as a wing player, now my man Scoot is dropping down to 3. That third pick, you get Scoot, you got you a Ja Morant minus, the hammers, minus the tools. You got a Russell Westbrook, but that's actually a point guard, not assist hunting. You have a Derrick Rose type that can shoot. He is the next evolution of all those attack, guard-centric offense types that run a lot of iso ball, that go get buckets and then could drop it off for a big or a wing. Scoot is the best of both worlds. He can go be a dynamic score first guard and get you 20, 25. But then he can also fall back and get you 12, but then go get you 13, 14 dimes. That's dynamic. That's an easier thing to transition in today's NBA. And that's my only point in terms of Vic, you're going to have to wait a while. He's going to be an enigma. He's going to look dynamite at times. And he's going to get caught on switches and get Swiss cheesed up. So as long as the Spurs are okay with that, and clearly they are. And they probably should be. I think he'll fit in well there. Here's the difference, though. This isn't David Robinson. This isn't Tim Duncan, whereas these guys are more reserved, chilled, not really looking for the spotlight. No, Big Vic about that shine, okay? Big Vic will not be your traditional San Antonio Spur. Now, maybe they can coerce him. Maybe they can, get him to tone it down. But he is, I won't say flamboyant, because that's too polarizing of a term. But he is an extrovert from everything I've seen. Maybe he comes down there to the Alamo on the Riverwalk and changes up. But from everything we've been told about Big Vic, he likes to be outside. So that Spurs thing, obviously there's a lot of French ties there. So, for him, he didn't want to go to Houston clearly, because when Houston, had the 4th pick, he was very excited about that. So, because again, that means, all right, another team that was tied for the number 1 overall pick, they now down to 4. Now my chances come down, because clearly he wanted to be a Spur. Although I think going to Charlotte and playing for MJ would have been a good consolation prize. Ultimately, Mans wanted to be a Spur. The Spurs clearly wanted him to be a Spur because they tanked. And not even the lowest of keys, high key, the league wanted him to be a Spur. So just like they wanted Zion to be a Pelican and Ja to be a Grizzly, we got Victor Wembanyama being a San Antonio Spur. Hit the chat early. Like the intro again, man. That's the homie May 1st. He also does musical production on my podcast, the DCMD podcast. But yeah, he's got some heat. He's got some heat. He's the homie, so he always laces me with some joints. It makes sense for San Antonio to get the first pick. Okay, so I mean, have we gotten to the point where it's okay if the NBA tanks, if the NBA rigs the lottery? Have we gotten to the point where it's okay for the NBA to rig the lottery? I mean, that's kind of what we need to kind of ask ourselves of, is it okay? Are we okay with them designing it and orchestrating it? I mean, the first ever lottery was fixed because we know in '84, the Knicks had the number 1 overall pick, which was another type of Wembanyama prospect in Patrick Ewing, which was a can't miss. And the team with the largest fan base, with the largest, media market, just so happens to get, one of the most dynamic players to come out. LeBron in Cleveland, you don't think that was fixed? Chicago and D-Rose, the Bulls had, the next to last or the worst chances of getting the number 1 overall pick. And magically, the team that's been dormant, that tanked after Jordan left and kept tricking it off, a la the Sixers in the process, were gifted Simeon's own Derrick Rose. I mean, as long as we're okay that the draft lottery is really just a charade, then I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it as a person that doesn't have any allegiance to any pro team. I'm cool with it. I'm here for the chaos. And the Spurs were too easy to rig to me. The chaos would have been the Hornets, LaMelo, and Vic trying to stop that 2-man game with some Bug Night, if he could get right, because that's what I was trying to figure out, when I saw the Hornets, the Hornets going to be in the top 4. If they get Vic, Mike can't sell that team, because Mike is out here trying to flip minority shares of this franchise. Yo, Mike, slow down. You get Big Vic. You get Vic. Those jerseys are selling out. Those season ticket plans are selling out. Fall back. Don't be giving away no shares yet. Cash out on Big Vic. But they get the second pick, and I don't think that's a problem. Because now you're looking at LaMelo, Bug Night, again, if he's right. Basketball-wise, we know he's right, but there's some things off the court. And then you're talking about Brandon Miller, most likely. You could paint a scenario for Scoot, but then that means you're moving LaMelo off the rock. I don't know if I like that. Probably don't like that ultimately. So you can't go Scoot at 2 if you're the Hornets, so you go Brandon Miller. So I think that's where we're at right there. And, Big Vic is going to the Spurs, and I dare someone to name 2 Spurs. Because that's how kind of anonymous their franchise is right now, because they were in huge tank mode. And being 3-0 in tanking is hella impressive. Because damn near every franchise has openly tried to tank at least once in my lifetime. some, consciously and some unconsciously, right? So it's impressive that they're now 3-0. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and now Big Vic. And the fact that they go get, generational transcendent bigs. As we keep being told this center is being phased out, the big man no longer has a place in today's NBA. Now we got, now there's varying reports now. Before it was, he's 7'5". Now there's reports he's 7'2", 7'3". Who gives a damn? He's a footer. He's a footer who's got handles, who's bombs away from the outside. He's the evolution of Kevin Durant. He's the evolution of Dirk Nowitzki. He's the evolution of Kristaps Porzingis. Now, some people are saying he's going to be better than all of them. I'm not there yet, especially KD, because KD is still KD. But if you're telling me the skill set of those three guys in the evolutionary sense is there, I have no issues with that. I just want to make it clear, and I talked about it today on ESPN Radio out there in Chattanooga, Tennessee with the homie Greg Larnard. I just want to make sure they don't put him at the 4 or the 5. I think the Spurs are smart enough not to put him at the 5. I'm a little concerned they might put him at the 4 because he's just not physically ready. He's not physically, like, to keep it a buck, he's not that much more muscular than this picture right here, bruh. He's not that much different than this pic right here in terms of muscle definition, dogs. So it's like, are you going to put him, you're going to have him guarding people on the block? What's he going to do with Jokic? We just saw what Jokic did last night. And that ain't no slouch in AD. And AD went and got his, especially in the second half. But, like, what Jokic going to do to Wemby? It's going to be a problem. It's going to be bully ball. It's going to be like when Rudy Gobert is guarding these guys. Because he's frail. He's got the crazy wingspan, the pterodactyl wingspan. But outside of maybe blocking the occasional shot, if they put that shoulder into that chest, they getting moved. Rudy getting moved. And Big Vic Wemby is going to get moved too. I don't know who my Rockets going to get. Oh, now you claiming the Rockets. Ab is I'll be nice today since he's been on the podcast, the DCMD podcast. You can catch some of those episodes on the channel page. But he is a New York basketball fan. Truly a Knicks fan. But he, the whole KD, Kyrie beer thing had him wavering a little bit. But the Rockets, I think, at 4, it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot at 4 because I'm not ready to say it's a 3-person draft, but it's starting to shape up that way. All the people that I've been talking to, they've only have been mentioning these 3 guys. Clearly, there's going to be other good players from this draft, right? But in the sense of guys that, you want to be in the top 3. That's why Houston, I probably won't play it because it's copyright, but the Houston fan reaction when they got 4, I think, of course, they wanted Wemby, right? But if they could have got top 3, that's not the worst consolation prize. Because at least you're walking away with, on paper, one of the better prospects. Allegedly, there's a big drop between 3 and 4. Allegedly. But I do have a couple of mock drafts, so we could definitely figure out what the Rockets may do. I'm saying it's always been fixed. I mean, I wish more fans would just come to that realization. There are still fans that I come across that really think that the lottery is really just a bunch of ping pong balls and weird combinations of numbers, and that's like they really feel it's a real lottery. And much like the real lottery, it's fixed. Like come on, dogs. Ab Heavy in the chat, appreciate that. B Miller's a good fit in Charlotte. I think he should be. I think there's nowhere else he's going to go unless someone tries to move up and get into that spot. But I think ultimately with Brandon Miller, one, there's the thing of off the court. And again, he's not directly implicated, but he is an accomplice of sorts to that event. Okay, I'll just call it that. But it did involve the loss of life, so let's put some respect on it. But you want to make sure he's okay from that if you're looking at it strictly from a basketball standpoint, right? But yeah, I think it's going to be a thing where Brandon Miller has the skill set to me, and I think I tweeted this earlier in the year, but when I really locked in and started watching Alabama heavy, I was like, oh, this is Cam Reddish if Cam Reddish was allowed to be Cam Reddish. And for those who don't know, I'm super high still to this day on Cam Reddish. I think he just needs to have the right opportunity. He was snake bitten going to Duke. He was snake bitten in being drafted by the Atlanta Hawks. He was snake bitten, being traded to Knicks tape with that meniscus tearing taskmaster Tom Thibodeau. And, Portland has been giving him a chance towards the end of the season, and he played well. But then I think he got banged up towards the end there. But I'm very high still to this day on the Cam Reddish skill set. Brandon Miller has a lot of that. He needs to be at the 3. To my Big Vic, yeah, I think 2 of the 3. I could see him at the 2. I'm more comfortable with him at the 2 to keep it a buck with you than the 3. Because here's a problem with Vic. And we're going to see this early on. And I think that might force the Spurs to play a lot of zone. Teams are going to hunt him. Because the frailty is still there. They're not that different from this photo. The frailty is still there. And I think at some point, he's going to get hunted, whereas you're going to set a screen to get Big Vic to switch. That's going to be a problem because, again, at 7, if he's truly 7'5", and we'll find out as the draft combine started today, if he's 7'5", well, no, he's not even, I don't think he's here yet, right? And I don't think he flew out yet. Whenever he's measured, if he's measured at all, because what's the point, right? But anyway, if he's 7'5" with kicks on, that's going to get hunted. We've seen teams systematically dismantle Rudy Gobert by getting him caught on switches against smaller guards, notably Steph Curry. So we've seen that type of size be, decimated by a guard. And I think that could be a thing here with Big Vic, because if he's a 3, you take him to the block. I think you could get your shot off. You could catch him with head fakes. You can do a lot of things with Big Vic. But I think ultimately he's a 2 guard, a 7'5" 2 guard. We have reached that point watching the game of basketball that there's a French dude that's not that different in terms of body frame and muscle definition than this pick that's going to be a 7'4", 7'5" 2 guard. Crazy times we're in, bruh. Crazy times. Boogie Down in the house. What's good, Boogie Down? What are we talking about today? Oh, man, we talking about that rigged lottery last night. Talking about that rigged lottery and the fact that Big Vic is going down there to the Riverwalk, down there in the Alamo with the San Antonio Spurs, and the fact that the Spurs are 3-0. 3-0 when they tank. And I don't know who has a better record than that when they tank. Because when they tanked, they got David Robinson. They tanked again when even the Celtics had a better chance at getting the number 1 overall pick, which would have been Tim Duncan. The Spurs still found a way to get the pick. And now we have the Spurs out here in a 3-way tie to be able to get the number 1 overall pick, and they still find a way to end up with Big Vic. So to me, fix is in. It's been rigged. They've been selective when they've allowed things to be rigged. There's a reason why LeBron was able to go to Cleveland, why Derrick Rose was able to be in Chicago, why Zion was handpicked to go to New Orleans. It's just a matter of here we are. Here we are. Boogie Down. Wemby 7'4" 2 guard. Yes, you can. Yo, all right, I'll ask this first. Boogie Down, outside of highlights, have you watched him play a full game? I'll just ask you that first, because if you have, then we can really go into it. Nah, he's not a forward, dog. He's not a forward. Victor Wembanyama is not a forward. If you've watched him play outside of just the highlight packages, like online, like I've been watching dude for about a year. I've been watching him and Scoot Henderson because those were the 2 guys, right? Those are the 2 guys to watch. So me as someone that is recognized as a basketball analyst, I watched them both play, and then I got put on to Brandon Miller early in the college basketball season, so I started watching him as well. Victor Wembanyama is not a big. He is not a big. And I could debate that he's not even a wing. He's a guard. You cannot play him. And I've been saying this, for about a year. I've been saying, do not put him in the paint. You put him in the paint, you're doing a disservice to him. Pull up some quick highlights. Nah, I'm definitely not trying to catch no copyright strike. But I'm telling you, if you go on your own and watch, then we can revisit this. Because I'm telling you, if you watch him enough, you're going to see him get pushed around. You're going to see him like laterally. He's 7'5". So the lateral movement's not there. Now, offense, he's a cheat code. Offensively, Victor Wembanyama is a cheat code. Okay? He's got handles. He's got the three-point range. And, of course, he's 7'5". So even though he's not really built to be on the block, you put him on the block and he's 7'5", he's going to get his shot off. And there's not too many people on this earth who can block it. That's not the issue with Big Vic. The issue with Webby is whether or not defensively he can survive. Now, he'll grow. He'll get stronger. He'll get better conditioning as the years go on. So maybe 3-4 years from now, maybe he could be a 4. Maybe. Probably not. But at least a 3/4. But right now, I'm putting him at the 2. I'm putting him at the 2 and see if he could cook. Because I think ultimately his offensive game is best served there. Because even if you try to hide him and put him at the 4 or the 3, they're still going to put him in switches. You think Steph is going to be like, all right, well, damn, he's guarding Andrew Wiggins. Let me not. No. He got like, Wiggins, come over here. Set a screen. Let's get that auto switch. Now you got Big Vic on Steph Curry. What's going to happen? Swiss cheese. If he faces Dame, we're going to put Big Vic on Jeremy Grant. What's Dame going to do? Hey, yo, Jeremy, come set the screen. Switch. Okay, now you got Dame going one-on-one with Big Vic. He's going to get hunted no matter what position you play him. So in my opinion, I think you could hide him better as a guard than trying to hide him down there in the paint, unless you're going to play zone. You want to play zone? Then go ahead and play zone. You could do a 2-3. You could do a 2-3. You can even maybe get away with a 1-3-1, maybe. But like, that's what you're looking at when you're dealing with Big Vic on the defensive end. So that's why, to me, I'm keeping him as a guard. To me, he is a 7'4", 7'5" shooting guard. All right, let's see. So we have that when it comes to Big Vic, and the Spurs get the number 1 overall pick. But the real spice is right here. The Portland Trail Blazers intend to trade their number 3 overall pick in the 2023 draft to try and build a championship team around Damian Lillard. This, to me, is the most intriguing part of the draft, because basically it's like, well, who wants Scoot Henderson? Because if we go to mocks, everyone is saying Brandon Miller is going number 2. We got a mock here, and there's another mock here. Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller is a consensus number 2 overall pick over Scoot Henderson. Now, I still think that's debatable, but if you're Charlotte, you have to take Brandon Miller. You have to take the wing there. But with the Blazers saying the number 3 overall pick is for sale, now this leads to some intriguing conversations, because who needs a point guard? And Boogie Down, you weren't here, but I was breaking down how I really feel like Scoot Henderson is a combination of, now in my world, this is high praise. He's got a lot of Rondo in him in terms of facilitating, and he also can do a lot of the same dynamic stuff like Ja, like Prime Russie, Derrick Rose, but he can shoot. That's why, to me, when it was just Vic or Scoot, I'm like, yo, I can make a case for Scoot going number 1. Like, I know everyone feels like, no, you have to take, it's like the Greg Oden thing. You have to take Greg Oden because he's the big, so then Kevin Durant goes 2. But I mean, I think there was a case about a year ago where you could have debated Scoot versus Vic for number 1 overall pick because of how dynamic and how much of evolution. This game is about evolution. Victor Wembanyama is the evolution of Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki, players of that ilk. I think Scoot is the evolution of a Russell Westbrook, of even a Ja Morant, throwing Derrick Rose. Like, he's got that type of scoring and athleticism, and then he could dish it like Rondo. Spooky. Spooky. Boogie down. So you're saying his game is like KD? Yeah, right now, yeah. Yeah, he's not in the paint, dogs. Like, let me see if I can find some stat lines. Let me come off the screen. I don't think Basketball Reference will have him yet, but let's just double check. Victor Webb. Oh, they got something, I think. They don't have stats, though. Oh, no, they do. Okay, bet. Dope. Thank you, Basketball Reference. I was a little worried that they might not have it. All right, so we got some stats here on Big Vic, right? Do they have his height? See, they have him at 7'2". Okay, so there's a lot of disparity between. It's a big difference between 7'2" and 7'5". So I don't know. They got him at 7'2". Anyway, when it comes to his stats, obviously he made the big jump last year, right? Well, I guess last season. 21 and a half, 10 boards, the 3-point percentage, 28%. So again, this is why, as much as people are saying like, oh, this guy's the next evolution, this guy's going to be the next guy up. If you're basing it off of numbers, and again, this isn't the best competition in the world either, in the French leagues, these numbers don't stand out as a guy that you would go like, oh my God, he's a can't miss. But then when you watch him, it gets different. It gets different when you watch him. If you just focus on the league numbers, you know, he played half the year, the first 2 years as he bounced around, and he wasn't getting a lot of shots, right? 6 shots and 8 shots. Then this past season, 16 shots, 47% from the floor. Oh, I would hope, do they even have if they have a shot chart, it's lit. Oh, they don't have a shot chart, because I would love to see the shot chart of where those shots were taken. Because I'm telling you, they're probably from the outside. I'm sure he gets a handful of dunks, but like, I don't think he's that, dog. He's a perimeter player. He's 7'2", if you want to believe he's 7'5", however height he is, he's a perimeter dude. So that's what I'm saying. He's the next evolution of a Dirk. He's the next evolution of a Kevin Durant. He's the next evolution of a Kristaps Porzingis. Like, he's of that mold. Whereas, yeah, Porzingis can do some work on the block, but you're not depending on that every night. Kevin Durant, even as he's gotten older, yeah, he can go down on the block and do a little something, but you're not depending on that. And we know what Dirk was able to do in the paint, not that much outside of a fadeaway. So that's what I'm saying. Victor Wembanyama, to me, is along those lines. Oh, I wish we had a shot chart. Let me see. Let's see if we can do a deep dive and see if we can find a Victor Wembanyama shot chart, because I think that will let y'all know. Wembanyama. We're all going to have to learn how to spell that name. Yama shot chart. Ooh, we might have it. Okay, this is the best I can do on the fly. Let's see. Again, another site that has him as 7'2". So all this 7'5" stuff, I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from. Okay, so they're saying his best shooting position. So he likes to shoot in the middle. They're saying his favorite side is the center. So he likes to shoot in the middle of the court, strong side. So he doesn't do a lot of stuff on the baseline. We see that 27%. In terms of shot attempts, he's not getting a lot of volume here. The volume of his shots are corner threes and right in front of the basket. So again, this guy is 7'5" or 7'2", and he does the most of his work in the middle of the rim or corner threes. That doesn't scream generational to me, but again, you have to watch him. When you watch him, you see it. But the problem is, people are saying, yeah, he's a bona fide Hall of Famer already. Like he's a can't miss. And I'm like, I'm not saying he's not a can't miss. I just don't know if I'm willing to put my livelihood that he's going to be one of those. Like he's going to be a Kevin Durant, that he's going to be, a Dirk Nowitzki. If he ends up being a slightly better Kristaps Porzingis, is that a bust? I mean, Porzingis went third overall? I don't know if that's a bust. I think there's got to be a better shot chart because I want to see scoring. Defensive rating is pretty good, but again, level of competition. It's a 104 defensive rating, 111 offensive rating. Net rating is a 7. Ball handling. I wonder what, usage rate. Here we go. Ooh, 28.3 usage rate. For a guy his size, that's a pretty high usage rate. 28.3. Let's see. What is Kevin Durant's usage rate? Where we at? Advanced per 100 possessions. Where is it? Where did they hide it? Vorp. Come on. No, it's not just the shooting. Where is it? Is it in? No, it's not totals. I used to know where all this shit is at. Where is it? Come on. Usage rate. Regular season. Why do they hide it? Just make it. Dogs, I can't believe I can't find usage rate when I know I've seen usage. Oh, here we go. Good Lord. Advanced in the middle. Okay, I know that. 26.8 in Phoenix. 31, 30, 30. So if you're a KD type, his highest usage rate was a 33. That's his highest ever. Big Vic already tapping in with 28? 28 usage rate. So, I think there's something there. Boogie down. Even KD doesn't play guard. He plays forward. Yes, I think KD's game always involved a little bit of the post. I'm telling you, unless Big Vic is standing in front of the rim, we just showed it. Unless he's standing in front of the rim, those shots ain't coming, bruh. He has to be right here to get it off. He's out here shooting corner threes. So Big Vic is out here shooting corner threes. He's not really, you see, he's kind of on the baseline a little bit. But again, it's going to be interesting to see how they use him, right? Made shots per game. See, now this gets interesting. Total shots made shots. So this is his makes, purely his makes. So the talk of him shooting threes is kind of ridiculous. And we saw the percentage was not that great over here. What was it, 20-something percent? 27.5% from three. So people are gassing the fact that he can shoot. And again, if this is FIBA in the EuroLeague, I don't think EuroLeague has the same three-point line. I don't think the distance is the same. So he could be shooting from a shorter distance, and even that's only 27.5%. So, I mean, if they put him in the paint, it's going to be Rudy Gobert vibes to me if they put him in the paint. That's just me. As much as I've watched him and tried to keep up with him and watching not just highlights on Twitter, but just extended, cuts of watching him play, multiple plays, multiple quarters, stuff like that. I don't see it, bruh. I think you need to move him away from this paint. I think he's going to get beat up. Offensively, he can give you a little something because he's either 7'2" or 7'5", and he could shoot over dudes. Not too many dudes are going to block his shot. But the dynamic stuff we've been told, and that I have seen at times, is he can be out here and be gunning. But now that we're getting the crunching of the numbers, looking a little different. He's on that PJ Tucker wave from the corners, but he's also a PJ Tucker from the top. Okay, Boogie down. He watched some. Okay, yeah, dog. He's skilled, bruh. He's skilled. It's just a matter of, can that translate? Can that translate at this level? It remains to be seen. I think it'll be a very interesting, transition from, leagues that aren't on the level of, clearly aren't on the level of the NBA, and you could even argue if they're on the level of the G League. But it's going to be interesting to see how he transitions. And do we have any? No, I don't see it here. Okay. He doesn't have to be a bruiser in the paint. KD isn't a bruiser in the paint. He is finesse in the paint. Vic better develop that part. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I'm a little worried about putting him down there too soon. That's why I'm concerned about putting him down there too soon. I think if you put Victor Wembanyama there too soon, I don't know if these numbers that we see here in terms of, and these are percentages of made shots per game. So if we look at it, he gets about 6 attempts per game right in front of the basket. I don't think that's not happening in the NBA. Like, teams are not going to play him straight up and just let him camp out like 2 feet in front of the cup. So he's going to have to be on the move. He's going to set some screens. Like, he's going to have to be able to, let me get my telestrator up. He's going to have to be able to set some screens. No, we don't want that. We want the arrow. Okay. So he's going to have to be able to set some screens out here and then dive. Dive right to the rim, or you can do a little pick and pop, or you can settle and try to hit here, because you see he likes a lot of his shots center. So we could bring Big Vic out here. He's going to have to set that screen here, and he's either going to slip the screen and go dive, or he's going to stand out here and get the pick and pop, or he goes with the roller. He goes with the screen and the roll, and then you try to get the little floater in the lane. Like somewhere over here. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the Spurs do it. And if we're talking about the Spurs, we might as well just pull up this Spurs roster. Because there's not a lot of dudes here that we can name. Keldon Johnson is a dude that can go. Vessel is a guy that I think is kind of slept on. They got Devontae Graham. I'm not really sold on that. So there's not really a lot of pieces here. They had my man who they had to get rid of because he was allegedly exposing himself to the shrink, right? Like that story kind of came and went. But yeah, the Spurs are a roster that is bereft of talent. But I think if you put Big Vic with Keldon Johnson, that could be a 2-man game. Romeo Langford is okay. But this roster is mid as hell. And they could be right back. They're most likely going to be right back in the lottery next year. So who knows who they might be able to add once you get Big Vic. The key is getting the guy. Once they got Robinson, okay, now we got a guy. Now we can go mix it in, go get a Sean Elliott, Vinny Del Negro. We could go find these dudes to kind of help around the guy. Once you get the guy, then they got lucky on the back end of David Robinson. Okay, now we got Tim Duncan. Now Tim Duncan's the guy. Now David Robinson is helping Tim Duncan. And now we got, Parker, Avery Johnson. We got a bunch of dudes to now help that. We got Ginobili now. Now later at the end of that, Duncan's getting old. Now we go get Kawhi. Now Kawhi's the guy. Now Kawhi is helping Duncan. Duncan's helping Kawhi. Now they got a guy in Wemby. Who's going to be the pieces around to help Wemby once these guys are ready to go in a couple of years? Is Keldon Johnson still going to be there? Remains to be seen. He'll be fine. The NBA doesn't really play defense. Right. Again, I'm not really too concerned offensively. It's defense. When he gets hunted, what's the solution? You're just going to zone up every time he gets hunted? Shit, the Lakers had the zone up last night because of what Jokic was doing early. So, I mean, but how long can you stay in that zone? No way the Lakers would have came back last night playing zone all night. So how long are you going to stay with that zone if Vic is getting hunted? So if you're the Blazers, what do you want? Or who do you want? Or who has pieces available? Let's play that game because I heard something. I'm just going to type. Let me see. I'll come off the screen first because I don't want to ruin it. There is a young player that is extremely dynamic, is a bucket, is multifaceted, is a two-way player. And the team he's on could survive trading him. And they need a point guard. So I'll just leave that. Can you guess who that is? He's a two-way young wing who is a bucket and can play defense. And I think if you put him with Dame, along with Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons, Nazir Little, Cam Reddish, okay, now it's this Nurkic is still there. This can be a squad. Y'all let me know if y'all can figure that out in the chat while I pull up the team. I'll give y'all a couple seconds because I know that there's a delay on the stream. This guy's good too, really, really good. And the team that traded him away really needed him. Where is he? Yep, there he is. All right. I don't see nothing in the chat, so I guess y'all don't have a guess. All right. What if I told you for the number 3 pick, the centerpiece to help out Damian Lillard, who clearly wants to stay, but only wants to stay if they're building a competitive team. He's not here for no scoot because Dame's not moving off the rock. So you go bring him a wing who can flirt a little bit at the 2, but you go give him a wing who is dynamic, can be a bucket, and can play defense. For the number 3 overall pick, would you accept the deal if you're Portland, if it's a bunch of picks, pick swaps, whatever to make the salaries work, but the crown jewel of that deal is this man? There's whispers already. If you're Portland and the Nets come to you with some picks, pick swaps, throw in a couple of warm bodies, but the centerpiece is Mikal Bridges, would you do it? For the number 3 overall pick, Dame gets a guy in Bridges who can score. He is a bucket. We kind of knew it when he was in Phoenix, but we definitely learned it when he got moved to Brooklyn in the KD trade. Bridges can go. He's a bucket. And he doesn't need help to get a bucket. That's been the problem with a lot of the guys that have been there with Dame, is that a lot of those guys need Dame to help them get their shots up. Mikal Bridges is not that. He can go. If we just take his Brooklyn run alone, per game, I just want the Brooklyn. Yeah, I'll come down here instead. Come off that. The Brooklyn tenure alone. 26 points. 5 boards, 3 dimes. 38% from 3. Mikal Bridges, potential centerpiece for the number 3 overall pick. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Because, again, it's early. We're still, a month out? But it's a lot of whispers already about who is the type of player that could be moved for the number 3 overall pick. And while we're here, the general manager of the Portland Trail Blazers anticipates receiving numerous calls for the third pick. We're a team that's trying to win and trying to maximize. Maximize Damian's timeline. So they are out here trying to win and trying to win on the fly. Is Mikal Bridges enough to move off the number 3 overall pick and basically hand someone Scoot Henderson? Scoot Henderson, the consensus number 3 overall pick at this point in time. I don't think the Thompson brothers will move up. I don't think they'll get that. I think it'll be Scoot. I think Scoot will be the guy. Although the Thompson boys can go too. Be clear. But to me, there is a bit of a gap between Scoot and the Thompson brothers. So you can see here with, the Blazers at a crossroads with Damian Lillard and Jeremy Grant entering unrestricted free agency. I think they'll bring him back. But, there's no reason to take Scoot at 3 because you have Damian Lillard. So then you move off of 3 to get assets to get a ready now piece. And I think they could do that with 3rd overall pick. But really like Coach Billups changes some things up. Yeah, he kind of has had a rough go of it so far. He's had a rough go of it so far. The team is not that great. Obviously, Dame has been in and out of the lineup, and they shut him down towards the end of the season to make sure they can hold on to their lottery status. So I don't know what I saw, to be quite honest with you, from a coaching perspective from Billups, but he has a respect of Dame, and that's kind of what matters in that locker room. So we'll see how that goes. So this was one of the bigger stories that Chris Haynes come out here for Yahoo, and he's also for Bleacher Report. James Harden to decline player option to seek a 4-year deal. Ty Lue's reps met with the Clippers to discuss his future. The Suns are likely to guarantee the point fraud's contract. And then as we just talked about, Portland expected to make the number 3 overall pick available. So read the story. There's a lot there to dissect. But the main thing is that James Harden wants a 4-year deal. And him opting out really sets the table for Houston to spin the block. It seems to be the worst kept secret. Yeah, there's some smoke that maybe Phoenix could be in play. But for that to happen, for the Beard to get the money that he's going to want with this 4-year deal, for him to go to Phoenix, it's going to have to be a sign and trade, and it's going to have to include the point fraud. Good luck with that one. They were able to do it with the point fraud and Russie. I don't know how you get that off with the point fraud and the Beard. When it comes to Ty Lue is trying to get a bigger bag, and he's trying to re-up. And there's also been some frustration allegedly from Ty Lue's camp in regards to, yo, dogs, am I ever going to get PG and Kawhi at the same damn time for an extended period of time? And my thing is, you didn't know that when you took that job, that you was never going to get Kawhi for those 70 games? You lucky to get Kawhi for 60 games. Has Kawhi even played 60 since he's been out there? He hasn't even played 60 games since he's been in LA. Like, you're not going to get, like, this is what, that first year is what he should be expecting. You're not going to get Kawhi for 60 games. The knee can't hold up. And now, when we add on the meniscus now, which is not the knee, that is the degenerative. So it's the other knee now, because that knee's been compensating for so long. Like, this is what it is when it comes to the board, man. This is what it is. I think the thing for him is, all right, I know Kawhi is quasi-damaged goods, but he's too good to like really get too wrapped up into that. But the Paul George stuff you weren't expecting. Because Paul George has been relatively healthy, especially as a pacer anyway. 79, 80, Then, he had the broken leg. Then he came back 81 games, even 75. And then the 2 years of OKC, he was healthy. But now, ever since he's been a Clipper, it's been mid. 48, 54, in the bubble. 31 last year and only 56 this year. So ever since he left OKC, so again, Sam Presti wins again. He got out from under that Paul George contract as soon as he used them up, all the good years left. There was minimal wear and tear left on them knees, and he was able to flip him for multiple first-round picks. Steve Ballmer, he had to have his stars, and Kawhi had to have a star. Kawhi only went to the Clippers because he was guaranteed he was going to be able to have another star. And I've talked about this on my podcast a lot, but he was supposed to go to the Lakers. It was all signed, sealed, and delivered, allegedly. But then him, Uncle Dennis, had some issues with some of the, how can I put this? They had issues with some of the concessions that were not being made, allegedly. So we'll go over here. Still want to be in LA. Still want to be in Cali. All right, we'll just go ahead to Ballmer and them. Here are the requirements. Here are the concessions. This is what Uncle Dennis needs. And, he's a savvy businessman. And away we go. Load managed. And, no one seems to care. But now maybe Ty Lue cares. Because Ty Lue is tired of, and Ty Lue is one of the best coaches in the whole league. Not just from an X's and O's persona, but in terms of a motivator. Like, he is the mold of a point guard turned coach. He's the next one up that falls in line. Like, most point guards turn out to be good coaches because that's what you do on the floor. And Ty Lue, with his dynamic play calls, the way that he draws up X's and O's, he's top tier. So there's a lot of conversations of, if he leaves the Clippers, where will he go? Because he will be wanted around this league. If I'm the Suns, I'm trying to get Ty Lue. And there's been a little bit of rumblings about that. But if I'm the Suns, I'm trying to get Ty Lue. What's the check? What check do I need to cut? But that could be billionaire wars. Ballmer versus Ishbia. That could be billionaire wars. And then the Suns are likely to guarantee the point fraud's contract. I believe he's owed half the money. Half of his, I think he gets 30 mil or 30 some odd mil. He gets half of that if he only gets half of that if they were to decide to trade him before June something, the end of June, I think. And if they wait till after that, then they're going to have to guarantee the whole 30 plus. But they're saying they're not even going to deal with all of that. They're just going to straight up guarantee that bread up front. And they're expecting him to be the starting point guard, which to me, y'all know how I feel. That's an L, dog. I think I have that story here. There's a little blurb. Yep. Chris Paul, the point fraud, is expected to open up next season at Phoenix's starting point guard. Ridiculous to me, but it is what it is. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, so we went through the mocks. As we get closer, we'll definitely do some things there. Debating about a live stream for the draft. I don't know if there's enough players. It's not like the NFL draft where you know a good deal of the players because you've watched them for a couple of years. A lot of these dudes, you see it, G League dudes. Like most fans don't know these dudes. We're all going to learn most of these dudes on draft night or leading up to the draft. So we'll see. I might change my mind. So JJ Redick did a thing. He's talking Ja. He's trying to go viral. And as much as I thought, he's trying to get that McAfee bag that was left behind because McAfee walked away from 120 mil. I'm like, he's trying to get that McAfee bag. Then that guy saw this, and I was like, yeah, JJ Redick is the favorite to become the next head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. So your man JJ Redick is out here being pro player on the 4-letter network. What a coinky dink that he's being so pro player when he's also trying to be a head coach. Coincidence? I think not. But look at these odds for these coaches. A 3-1 favorite. Oh, yeah, I can't even see that. Let me bring that down just a bit. There you go. Top of the screen. 3-1 favorite for JJ Redick. D'Antoni 7-2. Monty Williams, 4-1. That would be a bad hire. Nick Nurse, 5-1. The luster has fallen off. Jay Wright's been a rumor every time Philly has a job opening. I don't think he ever takes that next step. Coach Bud, that's laughable. Vogel, David Adelman, I don't even know who that is. Mark Jackson did interview for the Bucks job. I still think he's blackballed. I've had enough people tell me that behind the scenes that Mark Jackson is blackballed, but he still finds a way to get interviews. So Mark Jackson interviewed for the Bucks job. He's 12-1 odds for the Philly job. Jeff Hornacek, that Knick disaster wasn't enough to get him blackballed from another chance. And poor Sam Cassell down here at 18-1. What more does he have to do? Dawn Staley is also here. Yeah, it's just cut off a little bit. Dawn Staley's here at 20-1. I'll raise it up a little bit so I can see it. Dawn Staley. Then you have Jeff Van Gundy. Andre Iguodala. Oh, yeah, I can't see that. Andre Iguodala somehow was on here at 66-1 and AI at 500-1 because they just want people to bet and lose their money. So, Philly's in trouble. They got a lot to figure out there. All right, let's move that out the way. All right, let's get into the games from last night, or the game from last night. Lake Show and the Nuggets. A tale of two halves, but ultimately what we saw in the first half ended up being the prevailing notion at the end of the game. Nikola Jokic is going to be extremely hard to stop in this series. And Darvin Ham, I think, made a tactical error off rip by starting Dennis Schroeder. He started Dennis Schroeder in a spot where it was not necessary. And I'm not sure what his mind was on, but I guess he thought he was still playing the Dubs because there is absolutely no reason to be starting Dennis Schroeder in game one against a team that has the size of the Denver Nuggets. Why was Schroeder starting last night? And I understand you don't want to give guys a lot of run. He's finally let Lonnie out the doghouse once he had that big game 4 against the Warriors. But like, Dennis Schroeder is too small to change up your starting lineup for. They went with 3 guards against a team that has a lot of size in the Denver Nuggets. That didn't make a lot of sense to me at all. Austin Reeves is not a big dude. D'Angelo Russell's not a big dude, and we'll get to him because he was hunted. And the Nuggets openly admitted it after the game that they were hunting D'Angelo Russell. So you have Dennis Schroeder, D'Angelo Russell, and Austin Reeves. You went with a 3-guard lineup? Why do you have Vanderbilt? Vanderbilt didn't fare as well against the Warriors as he did against the Grizz because the Warriors don't have size. That's exactly what the Nuggets have. They have size. Why wasn't Jared Vanderbilt like, why are you taking out Vanderbilt and putting in Dennis Schroeder? I think that was a huge tactical mistake by Darvin Ham. It kind of shows like, as much as you might think he might be understanding what it is, he'll go and make a move like this. And it's like, yo, dogs, do you understand what you have on this roster? If we at home watching the game and we're all scratching our head like, why is he starting Dennis Schroeder over Vanderbilt against the Nuggets of all team? Because it's not like it's going to be for shooting. This Laker team cannot shoot as a whole. They only took 24 threes. And even though they made them at a good clip, that's just not how they're built. I don't understand what Darvin Ham was doing last night. It was extremely problematic for Darvin Ham to go out here and go to a 3-guard lineup. A 3-guard lineup against a team that has the size of a Jokic, a Aaron Gordon, and a Michael Porter Jr. And Jamal Murray is one of the better rebounding guards in the league. Why are you going to a small lineup? Jared Vanderbilt is one of those guys that could go on there and really mix things up. And you had him on the bench. Really weird thing by Darvin Ham to not start Jared Vanderbilt. Hella problematic. Hella problematic. And it's not like it fared better in the second half. Like Vanderbilt just didn't get off the pint. Even when they made the adjustment of, okay, maybe we shouldn't have our best defender, which is Anthony Davis. Maybe we shouldn't have him guard Nikola Jokic straight up. Let's have AD be the wing guy. So then Rui got a lot of the minutes to guard Jokic, and he actually did okay. Look, he's not there to stop Jokic. That's not his job. His job is to, make Jokic work offensively and be a body that could be in the way defensively, and then you have AD swarming to come help. Why it took a half of basketball when the Lakers would almost ran off the floor for Darvin Ham to realize that, I do not know. But once they got into the locker room and realized what the hell was going on, then they made the switch. So, do we want to get into LeBron? 4 more threes last night. I have a video on this channel that is asking LeBron to stop shooting threes because we unearthed it all together here on this stream about how LeBron shoots way too much threes, way too many threes. So let's go ahead to the shot chart. I hate to keep doing this to Bron, but he just makes it too easy. And here's the problem. So let me make sure I get the whole thing in. Pause. There we go. All right. Here's the problem, right? You see all this work he was able to do? Remember when I was streaming, yo, dogs, get to the paint. You're 6'9". Get to the paint. But then you get this. And that's where it's like, yo, dogs, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? We don't need this. We don't need these. Bron, don't need these, okay? Not against Denver. Get in here. I don't mind these. I don't mind missing at the elbow. I don't mind it. Keep taking those. Even this is okay. But these threes? Nah, dogs. No, stop it. Stop it. Stop shooting so many threes. You're a rhythm shooter. But when he's down here and he's cooking, who's stopping it? Like you can't stop this. Jokic, even though, he had a block or 2 last night, he's not that guy. Problematic as hell, man. Problematic as hell. Bron gonna have to figure that out. Did we see anything last night that makes us think the Lakers have a chance? Some people were like, hey man, when the blowout was on, everyone was like, oh yeah, see, Lakers can't compete. And then that second half happened, and then Anthony Davis happened, and he put up a 40-piece double-double, and he shot 60%, and he took the most shots, this is what the offense should look like for the Lakers every night, where Anthony Davis takes overwhelmingly the most shots. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way because, LeBron is on that if sun don't shine, then sun don't shine wave. So let's look at Anthony Davis. Where did he take his shots? And this is why, as I don't understand why people like to shade Anthony Davis. Look where he's at. Is he playing in the games? Now, these bunnies, he's got to fix this, right? And some of these were contested because, again, the Nuggets have the size. This isn't the Warriors where he's just going to, just get by one big and there's nobody else. No. Can't do that. You get by Jokic, there's Aaron Gordon, there's Michael Porter Jr., even though he's not a defensive guy, but he is 6'9", 6'10". So there's going to be size when you attack the rim. But the fact that the shots were all within the rim and at the elbow at the most, he gave you the obligatory corner 3. But ultimately, the fact that he's all in here, I love this. I absolutely love it. And he could get this all the games. And more of these will fall than not. He just needs to have LeBron do what he's supposed to do and be on that block as well. Like, that's the thing. Like, this should be bully ball. And, Darvin Ham came out there with a 3-guard lineup, and I was like, what the hell is happening here? What in the hell is happening here? Because it's nothing that made sense to me. Austin Reeves had a good night. He was able to be bombs away from the outside. I don't think you can expect this again and again and again. But D'Lo was hunted defensively. Bruce Brown admitted as such after the game. That pick and roll, get D'Lo into action, and go to work. That's going to have to be an adjustment. And that's why you can't have three guards out there, because if you got Vanderbilt out there, he's a guy that could be a stretch wing that can guard guards and wings and occasionally bigs. You can hide D'Lo better. But once you put Schroeder and Reeves out there, like there's three dudes that can all get, not necessarily Swiss cheese, but three dudes like you don't have a lot of confidence in a switch. Jared Vanderbilt was able to harass Steph. Why would you take him out the game so he can't harass and chase after Jamal Murray, who put up a 30-piece and a relatively easy 30-piece? Might I add, KCP put up a 20-piece. Like the whole starting lineup got double figures, dog. If that's going to happen, the Lakers are done. If the whole starting lineup is going to cook like this, oh, my bad, y'all probably can't see some of that. Let me move it over. Or maybe move myself. Thanks to Ecamm Live, I could do that. So if you have the Nuggets, the whole starting lineup putting up all these points, then the Lakers are not going to survive this series. They're not long for this series if this is where we're at. Where Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is putting up a 20-piece. He's bombs away with 3 threes. Michael Porter Jr., 15, 3 threes. Aaron Gordon, 12 points. He's putting up threes. He didn't make anybody. He's putting them up. And then a 30-piece each for Nikola Jokic, a 30-piece triple-double, by the way, for Nikola Jokic, and then another 30-piece for Jamal Murray. Like, you can't do that. The Lakers cannot outscore the Nuggets. They cannot. Now, if they can lock up and play defense, and they looked better in the second half once they figured out what the hell they're trying to do in the second half, especially the fourth quarter where they, within striking distance until Bron took that ill-advised 3. Again, another instance where he thinks he's a better three-point shooter than what he really is. And when is somebody on that roster, on that bench, in that coaching staff, in that organization going to let them know, yeah, we really didn't need you to take that 3, dogs. We didn't really need you to take that 3. What was the play? What was the exact score at that moment? Let's see. Let's get to the fourth quarter. Let's see. LeBron takes an ill-advised 3. Where is it? Yep. LeBron misses 3 with 45 seconds left. He was trying to tie the game, and he didn't have to. He didn't have to. And then he took another 3. But, the game was pretty much wrapped up at that point. But, yeah. The 3 with 45 seconds left, that was the one to me that was ill-advised from Bron. But can't tell the king none, because the king going king. Sun don't shine, sun don't shine. But anyway, we got the Celtics and the Heat tonight. That game starts up. There's a lot to be made there. Let's get to some little stat muse here to get some breakdown stuff. Head-to-head in the playoffs, Jason Tatum. He's got 26, 9, and 6 with 6 wins against the Heat in the playoffs. While Jimmy got a cool 23 and 7 with 4 dimes in 7 wins. Now, Jimmy's on the record saying, they pulled up the clip from last year's playoffs when they lost to the Celtics in 7. And he said, we're going to come right back here. We're going to be in the same situation, but we're going to get it done this time. And here we are. An improbable 8 seed that is on the cusp, 4 wins away from getting to the NBA Finals. Who do y'all got in regards to the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics? Boston has more talent. They have more lottery picks. The Heat have Heat culture, team ball, a better coach. It's a lot of intangibles here. I think much like the last series against Philly, I think Robert Williams, Time Lord, will be a factor here. If Time Lord is healthy, the Celtics are very hard to beat. Very, very hard to beat. He was hurt in the finals against the Warriors. He could have made a difference. He was hampered a lot against the Warriors and throughout the playoffs last year. But him coming back in games, him being used more, including starting games 6 and 7, really, I think, changed the course of that series. Even though, again, the Sixers tricked off, that lead in the fourth quarter of Game 6 at the crib, where they could have eliminated the Celtics with Joel Embiid not even touching the rock the last 4 minutes of the game while Tatum's going crazy with 16 in the fourth. However, I think Time Lord certainly made a difference in Game 7. Certainly made a difference in Game 7. So that remains to be seen how that goes. I'm going to go with the Celtics because I think they'll lean on Time Lord, and I think there's going to be a lot of trying to stop. Here's the thing when it comes to Miami. Miami's not that great at shooting threes in the regular season, but they've turned that around here in the playoffs. How or why, I have no idea. Just the threes are falling at a way higher rate now than they were throughout the entirety of the regular season. For me, it's going to be very much a drive and kick team. It's not a lot of curls. It's not a lot of pin downs. Not a lot of elbow stuff. Not a lot of hammers. It's a lot of screen and roll, dribble handoff. If you're doing a lot of drive and kick type action, when you get to the cup and you got Time Lord there waiting on you, you're going to have to kick it out to some shooters. So this needs to be a Duncan Robinson series. This needs to be a Max Strus series. If Tyler Hero officially going to give it a go? Let's see. Tyler Hero. Or is he NBA Finals? He's traveling with the team, but it doesn't look like he's playing. He's traveling with the team that got him on the bench. You can see him here. He's rolling with the squad. He was there. But in regards to him, yeah, it does not look like it might be another week or so. Oh, we got Spo talking? All right, let's see if we can get that. Let me set that up. Oh, he's laughing, though. I don't know if he's saying anything pertinent, but we'll see. Let me get this set up real quick on the fly. Stereo, change that, pop that up.
In this series against the Celtics.
Really dramatic as you ask.
Well, I got a caution against your answers.
There's no way I could even answer that right now. The good thing about a hand is you're able to do other things with that, but you can't shoot, you can't dribble, like that kind of stuff. So I don't have.
Okay, he can't shoot, he can't dribble.
He won't be playing Wednesday. Is that fair enough? It's good.
Okay, so he said that 2 days ago that he'll be out Wednesday, so Wednesday is today. All right, so no Tyler Hero yet. He's saying he can't shoot and he can't dribble. That sounds like finals to me. That doesn't sound like he'll be back in time for this series. Unless it goes 7, maybe he could creep in on the back end. But outside of that, it doesn't look like Tyler Hero would be contributing that much. But, I mean, I think when it comes down to Time Lord, to me, is going to be a difference maker in this series. Because there's going to be a lot of driving and kicking. You're going to see it with Jimmy. Playoff Jimmy is a different dude. He says he's the same dude, but the stats don't bear that out. He's not a guy that can shoot three-pointers good, but then in the playoffs, he turns into a respectable three-point shooter. Make of it what you will. And I still think he's hurt. That ankle is still bad. So him on a bad bum ankle, trying to figure it out against Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, all those dudes, Time Lord, Al Horford, I think it's just too much. I think the Heat will make it a series, but I just don't see how the Heat can beat this team. I just can't. I don't see it. Let's see the playoffs here. Yeah, his numbers, he's averaging 31. Yeah, he's shooting 36% from three. 36% from three. What was he in the regular season? Oh, he's actually 35. He was only taking 1.5 a game. We'll say 2. But in the playoffs, he's taking 4. He's doubled his 3-point output, and he's still shooting at the same clip. So we'll see what happens with Jimmy. I think there's a lot there, and just the fact that he was able to troll the league with this headshot is hilarious to me. The fact that he got away with this is like hilarious to me because, like, dog, they're forced to use this. And I don't know if y'all peeped it, but they have stopped using this photo because they know now that he was trolling. Man's rolled out here with a lace front dreads. And now he's back to his regular do. And now he's got the braids, the cornrows in there. And They're having to use photos from like 3-4 years ago for Jimmy Butler. Boogie Down still in him was good. Bron never developed a consistent shot. Yeah, he's streaky. He's a streaky shooter. And I think that's the issue when it comes to Bron is like, you know, someone needs to tell him he should not be shooting so much. Because it's really hurting the Lake Show. That three he took, you know, down 3 with 45 seconds left, that was a problem. That was not how they got back in the game. That was the thing about it. Like, that's not how they got back in the game. And the fact that he fell up is on me. Yo, dogs, AD's got a 40-piece. It ain't about you right now. AD is cooking. He's sauteing these dudes, and he's in the paint, and he's working. But down 3, 45 seconds left. If sun don't shine, sun don't shine. Here comes Bron putting up a 3 when he ain't made a 3 all night. He ain't made a 3 all night, but here he come putting up a 3. He's 0 for 4 from 3. But that's the one that's going to fall, right? Because if sun don't shine, sun don't shine. It's really bothersome the way he just takes too many threes, man. Like, you're not that. Are you so enamored with Steph Curry? And are you so upset that Steph Curry ruined your era of greatness that you're just going to keep trying to shoot threes because you want to be in the same category as Steph? You don't want to have that hole in your game? Has it gotten to that point where Bron, where Steph's mastery of the 3 is in his head that he feels, well, I have to shoot threes? No, you're 6'9", 270, 280. Get your ass on the block. Look it down. Yeah, Jimmy is a weird dude, man. And the part of Texas he's from, if you know, you know. You should not be surprised if you know the part of Texas he's from. He's from. He's not from Beaumont, right? That's Perk. Well, where Jimmy from? I used to know the name off the top. He's not from Houston, dog. He's from that's the nearest big city. He's from like the backwoods, bruh. So, not surprised. All right, let's see. Let's hit the timeline real quick, see if there's anything that we missed before we get up out of here, because there are some games tonight. Let's see if we are outside. Boom, boom, boom. Let's check to see. No real update on Michael Gallup. Boogie Down with the T. He was adopted by non-melanated parents. Okay, that should explode. That should explain some of that, right? Oh, Abnos, Tomball. Yeah, Tomball's a small town, bruh. Yeah, it's a burb outside of Houston. So Boogie Down. Who knows what they did to him as a kid? I mean, he likes country music. So that should kind of tell you what type of time they out there in Tomball. Nothing really going on. More Jimmy stuff, but we just saw those stats. Let's see. See, here we go. Sean Elliott jumping out the window. He has potential to be the best player of all time when it comes to Big Vic. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. And again, he's a Spurs guy. He's a Spurs lifer, Spurs TV analyst. You see it, so of course he's going to cape. But come on, man. This is why it's going to be a problem. He has the potential to be the best player of all time. All right, Sean Elliott. Okay, bruh. Let's see. We might be good here. Who that? Oh, Trey Alexander. Okay. Yeah, that might be it for us. There's not that much else going on. All right. We might call it a night there, but before we get up out of here, y'all give me your predictions. Celtics and Heat. Who you got? Celtics and Heat. Who you got? You don't got to do the whole thing of N6 or whatever. I mean, if you want to, so be it. But remember, I still got, where my little pad at? I still got Boogie down. I wrote it down. Boogie down, got the Cleveland Browns over 9.5. He said that on May 11th. Kept the fouls. So, you know. You have to give Victor time to develop. Hey, Sean Elliott's saying potential to be your best player of all time. Ain't none of that in Sean Elliott's vocabulary. He's like, yo, dogs, this dude about to be a savior off rip. There's going to be a Bron-like push like next season. Like, people are going to want to see it right away. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if y'all want to see that with Big Vic. I don't know. Let me see if there's some Victor Wembanyama. See if there's any. I mean, sometimes with Twitter, you could get away. Ben Yama. I don't see any highlights. I was hoping Twitter would have some. Maybe we could sneak in some highlights, but no, there's nothing there. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Because he got yammed on by like a 6'8" dude. So that's like my problem with Big Vic. It's like sometimes, like I'll let y'all see this clip. I think we're okay here. This is on Twitter. Like, see, again, finesse type stuff with Big Vic. Finesse with Big Vic, you know? So, see if I can find anything else. Okay, so here's a good example of bully ball against Big Vic. Like, there's some bully ball here. Not a lot of effort, just puts the hands up. It looked like they were playing zone there. That's not man-to-man. Well, here's man-to-man, but the other play, the second play, looks like that's zone. Yeah, that's zone. And you see, he's just, put that shoulder. Put that shoulder, keep your hands active. Give yourself the space, because you could get shots up. You see, he doesn't have the reflexes to get that second jump. He could get you on the first jump, so he could block your shot once, like right there, but then that second one, he can't recover. That's to me is a sign of weakness. That's weight room. He's being weight roomed right here. Mans is about 6'8", and he's able to body Big Vic. So, things to keep an eye on. I mean, we're here at the end of the stream, so I'm thinking, we could probably get away with some stuff here at the end. Because if they clip it now, then, it's fine. But if we look at Big Vic, he can run. Obviously, he has the handles, and he's so damn tall that if he gets near the rim, it's, he's playing touch with himself. Pause. Like, he's playing Utah by himself. He can just keep tapping the ball up and just keep getting it, because who can get up with him? Who can get up with the wingspan like him? And then you see him here with the jump shot, facing up. Again, a lot of face-up stuff. We're not seeing a lot of back to the basket, right? He can pass the rock. Here we go, him on the block. But it's more of a soft zone. That wasn't really man up. But he's got the ability, because he's so damn tall. He's got some ability, right? Asking for the rock, sets a good screen, good dive. See, we talked about that earlier, about him setting screens and then being able to dive to the rim. That's a perfect example of that. Set that screen and then dive. We see him getting the blocks. So I think with Big Vic, it's going to be an adjustment. It's going to be an adjustment. That's why, to me, it's like, I don't know if that's where you want to put him, bruh. I'm not putting him there. But here's where people got really gassed, is because he could do, let me make sure if we can rewind it. Here's where people got really gassed with Big Vic, because of the handles. He's got the handles, and he's like 7'2" to 7'5". That's all off one leg, dog. Or maybe I didn't catch that. That's off one leg, bruh. Off one leg. He's out here doing the dirt from like 30 feet out. Off the dribble. Off the dribble. And that's why people are salivating. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else we can find with Big Vic. Let's see. Again, his best stuff is with the handles. Facing the basket, chopping somebody down one-on-one. Facing up. You see the handles. Like, the skill set is there. It's just, you know, you haven't seen a lot of post stuff, right? All the stuff we've been seeing is face up, face up, face up. And this is where the length goes crazy. Pause. He's able to face you up off the dribble, take a step back three, but because he's 7'3", 7'5", he can go follow his own shot and attack the rim, right? Like, that's where the thing is with Big Vic. Comes in, follow his own shot, and he's barely off the ground, but because he's allegedly 7'5", it's light work for him. Let's see if we can find like a really good highlight. Nah, that's like, yeah, that's way too, okay. Let's see. I think I have something, but it's way overproduced. It's like a mixtape. I don't want to do a mixtape. I want to see like actual, like real game footage. Dude's got the bikes out. Y'all can hear that in the background. Dude's got the bikes out. Let's see. Jersey City shit. Y'all know how it go. Yeah, I don't see any more good stuff. Oh, wait, hold up. Did we see this one? Yeah, we saw that one. Oh, wait, no, this one's a better package. Okay, pause. Here we go. Last one, and then we'll wrap it up. So, you know, he's able to do the post, but way smaller defender. But he's got the skill set to be able to spin off, get the and one, get in the passing lane. I think we saw this highlight earlier. Again, he could just play Utah to himself. So active, but he's active against dudes that aren't really trying to push him off the paint, not trying to keep a body on him. I don't know if, I think that will happen at times in the league, but not enough to where he's doing it like this, to where it looks this easy. Like, that play was way too easy, dog. It was a soft double. The shooter slid to the open spot to make himself available. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Let me see. Where's that Victor versus Scoot? Yeah, like this was the G League Ignite stuff with Vic versus Scoot. And as much as Vic got all the hype, like, Scoot was going crazy. Look at Scoot. And that's finishing on Vic. He's finishing on Vic. This is going to go number 3. Yeah, y'all sleeping on Scoot. Y'all sleeping on Scoot, but you know, we'll see how that go. Wait, is this Big Vic shooting? All right, yeah, we'll let that go. All right, let's see. Let me finish up in the chat. Ab is saying he's going to be like Dirk. I think there's something to that. I think he's the evolution. I think you're looking at, you know, he's the next Dirk. You know, the lineage went from Dirk to KD. You can mix in some Porzingis. And now I think we're going to get Victor Wembanyama as the next dude. So in the mold of Dirk Nowitzki, in the mold of Kevin Durant, in the mold of Kristaps Porzingis, Victor Wembanyama is the evolution of those three. Now, will he end up being better than all three of those guys? I don't know. Sean Elliott's already jumping out the window saying he has potential to be the best player of all time. I don't know the last time we've seen a dude that tall be the best player of all time. You're talking Kareem. You're talking Wilt. So you're telling me Big Vic is out here on Wilt Kareem status? That's hella high praise for a dude that just got bullied in the paint on a video by a dude that's 6'8". Like that's hella complimentary, dog. Boogie Down, yeah, I can see him getting muscled easily. Like that's the thing. That's why I don't want him in the paint, Boogie Down. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, yo, don't put him in the paint. Because I've watched those games. I'm like, no. You're a 2, 3 at the most. You're a 3 at the most. Look it down. I remember Tony Allen always used to give Kevin Durant problems. He used that lower center of gravity versus KD, and KD would get frustrated. That's facts. That's facts. Yeah. Tony Allen, Tony Allen's bugaboo was that he can never shoot. But yeah, his defensive prowess was top tier. And the only reason why I felt like that Memphis thing didn't work out is because the Dubs realized, oh, Tony Allen is so inept at offense, we're just going to put Andrew Bogut on him. And we're not switching. So Tony Allen, what you going to do? You got, big-ass Andrew Bogut guarding you. Now that gives us advantages with Steph not being guarded by you in transition. Like, the Warriors were able to figure out how to reverse hunt. We have the hunting on defense. They basically did that to Tony Allen in reverse. If you know, you know. But I think that will wrap it up for me. We're going to go ahead and get ready for the games tonight. I appreciate y'all pulling up to the stream. We got some new short form content on the channel. If you're into shorts and all that type of jazz, it's on Joel Embiid and the potential of him playing or maybe not playing if the Sixers go out there and hire Mike D'Antoni, as been widely reported. So, yeah, Boogie Down. Yeah, well, Grizzlies used to give the Warriors fits. That's facts. Yeah, they did. Until they figured out to ISO Tony Allen. Once they figured that out, it was a wrap. But yeah, for sure. They used to give them fits. For sure. All right, so y'all didn't tell me who y'all got in terms of Heat Celtics. I'm going to go out there on the limb since y'all won't. I'll say it. I got the Celtics. I think Tom Lord will be the difference maker there, because if you're able to drive by Jaylen Brown, drive by Jason Tatum, drive by Marcus Smart or Al Horford, who you got standing there as a last line of defense? Tom Lord, Robert Williams. So I think that will be enough of an edge. If it's enough to get the MVP of the league out of here, I think it's enough to get Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat out of here. So I think the Celtics take care of business. I don't do the whole in-game whatever, but sure, I'll throw it out there in 6 games. Jason Tatum's the best player on the floor. If he plays like he did against the Sixers in Game 7, we know that it'll be really early. It'll be a real early series, quick, fast, in a hurry series. But no matter what, I think the Celtics come out and take this series. So let me finish this tea. Yep. All right. So salute to y'all. I will catch y'all. I will be back here tomorrow for another edition of Timeline T. We'll be recapping, Heat Celtics Game 1. We'll see what else is happening. I'm sure there'll be some more NBA T as, we get a lot of people trying to figure out what to do with the draft now that the lottery is set, the order is set. What are the teams going to do? The Blazers with Damian Lillard, they're trying to move the number 3 overall pick. Who should get it? I'm hearing stuff about Mikal Bridges and the Nets. That's all I'll say. So for Timeline T, I am the Sam D. San Duesme Jr. I will holla at y'all tomorrow. Peace.